All right, there we are. Good evening, folks. Sigen Cat here. Gonna do a little bit of leveling tonight, I think. Not gonna be a terribly long stream. Harry and I gotta watch some, oh, I just missed the dang Nexia buff. It's fine. Perry and I are gonna be watching some Last of Us tonight, so not a terribly long stream. Go for a little bit over an hour, I think. Just doing some leveling. If you haven't seen this character before, that's because I'm not on him much. Sometimes I poke at him in the mornings, get a couple of quests in, die to those elite wolves in Silver Pine. The Sons of Argal, I think. I've never really leveled an undead before, so I was unaware of their existence until I just got absolutely freaking wrecked by one. I was like, oh man, that must have been a rare spawn. And then like 5 minutes after reviving, I was getting wrecked by another one. And it turns out, no, they've always been there, just making new undead players' lives miserable. No wonder everyone goes to Barons. Barons sucks, but it's better than getting ganked by the Sons of... Argal? I keep wanting to say Korhal. And I know that that is not correct. That's Arcturus Menskis faction in StarCraft. Guess who's not reading quest text? I read the quest when I get lost. Britt, what's up, man? You like my undead? He's hideous, isn't he? He's missing a jaw. He's got leather on his face and spiky hair. If I'm gonna play undead, I'm gonna make them as metal-looking as possible. Also, playing him as a warrior. I've never taken a warrior all the way up to 60 before. I spend so much time playing paladins that it's hard for me to play other classes sometimes, especially other melee classes. Like, I can play mage, and I can play priest all right, but like, once you start getting out of them, as you guys have probably noticed when I'm trying to play my rogue, I'm not good at a lot of classes. Playing XCOM. Nice. I had a friend recently message us. She's actually one of Perry's best friends, lives out in California. She messaged us recently that she'd beaten XCOM 2. And Perry was like, I have no idea what that is. And I was just like, holy shit, she plays XCOM 2? She beat XCOM 2? I sometimes forget she's a gamer because it's not something that we do when we're visiting her. And then every once in a while, she'll like just drop this incredibly complex, tough game name. She's like, oh, I'm working my way through this. Like, oh, right, you're like scary good at games. Let's grab... I have a quest to turn in the crossroads, I think. Yeah, that one. Oh, I didn't grab my new skill point. I'm not doing a lot of stance changing. Improved charge, though. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard many, many stories of just how rough XCOM 2 is. And, like, she didn't mention that she was playing it. She just, like, was silent for months, and then it was like, oh, she beat XCOM 2. It's like, holy shit. And she was probably silent for months because she was focused. I was thinking of doing a battle report for the Battletech tournament at Genghis Khan 2023. And I was just so darned focused on having fun and playing Battletech at Genghis Khan that fell by the wayside. So no battle report for you guys. There's not much interest in Battletech on this channel anyways. I've tried. You're gonna be way down there, aren't you? Dead? You're dead. There's that Mage Royal. Everything down there is dead. I could probably just run down, pick it up, and walk out. Nope, that's alive. I don't play XCOM myself, but I did hear some people comparing HBS Battletech to it. And Perry was playing something similar to it a while back. It was a Prohibition era, like, gangster XCOM. Wow, lots of people died down here. A level 21? Did he fall? That still shouldn't have killed him. What happened? Yoro! Konnichiwa. Oh, konbanwa, Sagan-san. Genki desu ka? Hai, genki desu. How about you? Thanks for giving me an opportunity to practice my reading skills. It's been a while. I haven't been working on it. I have been very lax in my studies. Yeah, HBS Battletech was pretty stinking tough at times. Until you kind of, like, once you start getting assault mechs, and once you've got a lot of ranged options, then it stops being too hard. Like, once you've got a couple of LRM boats and just one guy doing sensor locks, it's fine. I was originally going to play my my hardcore mage tonight, but they recently did a patch, and they're not confident in the server stability. And they explicitly said, we recommend not playing your hardcore characters until we're sure of the server stability. And I appreciate that they drop that announcement at the same time that they do the patch. Hardcore players, please read the Discord. It's important. There's um there's a mod for HBS BattleTech called Rogue Tech that makes it way, way, way more brutal and also closer to the tabletop experience, which definitely way, way, way more brutal. Like tabletop BattleTech, classic BattleTech specifically, not Alpha Strike. Classic BattleTech, you get into a situation eventually where it just what did they call it? Cascading failures. You get to a point where the mech has taken so much damage that it is doing more damage to itself just trying to continue fighting. So, like, say you damage your gyro. Well, that's going to make a number of things more difficult to pull off. Jumping, in particular, is just immediately going to require a piloting skill roll. And it's going to make the piloting skill roll harder than it would normally be. Which means you're more likely to fall after making a jump, which means you're more likely to damage your mech some more, which means you're more likely to break something else important on it. And that's not something that was particularly well represented in HBS BattleTech. I think that for the average game enjoyer, HBS BattleTech functions very well, both as in storytelling and mechanically. But it just doesn't have that same level of brutality that the board game has. For the record, the tournament I was at was for Alpha Strike. We were using Wolfnet's AS350 rules. Which I have a lot of complaints about Wolfnet 350, but at the same time, it is really the best option for running a competitive style tournament in particular. I don't think I would use it outside of a tournament, but if you want to get 4 rounds in 8 hours, it's the fastest way to play. By making it very objective focused to where the games are winnable within an hour and 20 minutes. And then also allow for setup between games and moving around and, all the organizational stuff. It's very effective. But by merit of being Alpha Strike, it loses a lot of the crunch of Classic. And then by merit of being a fast play tournament format, it loses a lot of the spectacle of standard Alpha Strike. But I went 1-3, which, yes, is not great. It's all right. I wasn't expecting to do great. I had only really played one game of AS350 before this tournament. And a lot of people there have been playing Alpha Strike for more than 5 years. I played against one guy who's my last match. He'd been playing BattleTech since the 70s when it was called Battle Droids, before FASA got sued by George Lucas for calling it Battle Droids. All right. As much as I hate the Sons of Arugal, I am going to go back. Did I not get the Orgrimmar flight path? I should already have it, right? That one should be free, right? Mother. It's fine. I'll have to fly back there eventually. Oh. Wait, no. Let's go grab Ratchet. We'll go grab the Ratchet flight path, and then we'll hearth back to the Sepulcher. Is it Sepulcher or Sepulcher? Hard to say. English is not always consistent. Oh, he's gonna drop a tent. It's fine. It's fine. I've got plenty of rested XP. I have enough rested XP to get me to the next level, and that's definitely not going to happen this stream, so... Actually, you know what? It could. If I don't play like trash, it could. So it won't, but it's possible. Other stuff that we did at the convention. So day one, sign-in was super easy. So this was Genghis Khan. It was being held up in Aurora, Colorado, which I wasn't too impressed with Aurora itself. But the hotel that we stayed at, the Hyatt Regency, pretty decent hotel. Pretty decent hotel. Pretty okay prices. Room was nice and clean. Didn't care for the sheets. And I'm going to sound like such a snob saying this. Those sheets had way too low of a thread count. And I am not picky about my sheets. I lived out of my car for a little bit. I've gone camping with nothing but an itchy wool blanket. So when I tell you that these sheets were uncomfortable and rough and felt like sandpaper, I need you to understand that I have slept on the ground in the woods with a wool blanket. And that was more comfortable than these sheets. Solid mattress, though. I did like the mattress. A lot of hotels have horrible, super fluffy, squishy mattresses that you just sink into, and I hate that. I need support. And this mattress nailed it. The mattress was great. Just the sheets were terrible, and the pillows kind of sucked too. But yeah, the events were well organized. We were able to schedule what we wanted to do ahead of time. They also had an open gaming space, and they had a board game library as well that one of the sponsors had brought. And they had like really good board games too. And they had like a room that was a board game library that you could check out and play there in the convention center. And they had a room where you could play the games that you'd checked out. So there was plenty of open gaming tables. The vendor hall had some cool stuff. But we checked out the vendor hall for a little bit until it was time for our first game, and we were doing something called RPEX, which is Roleplay Experience. And it was a Dungeons and Dragons module that was played live, not like a LARP. You know, we didn't have like costumes and foam weapons or anything, which, I mean, honestly, probably could have been fun too. I've never LARPed before. I don't hate the idea. But instead, no, we were the miniatures on the table. So they had an inn and a dungeon, and the entire floor was gridded, and we played a game of D&D scaled up to the size that we were our own miniatures. And that was a lot of fun. I played a cleric. There was a lot of smiting. So much smiting. I killed the final boss. It was great. I nuked her twice. She was undead, and I was a cleric, so, you know, what are you gonna do? Who is that? Shadow Priest Alistair? Where? So we had a lot of fun doing that. It was pretty cheesy. But, yeah, fun. And that's important. What else? What else did we do? The food options in Aurora really sucked. Not great food options. The hotel, though, had pretty all right food in their restaurant. Better than I'm used to seeing from hotel restaurants.
Embrace the shadow. I have exactly what you need.
You don't sell... I need vials. Oh, I can eat that. I can use that to make potions. I'm not going to worry about cooking on this character because I already maxed out cooking on my main. And then we did a sip and paint, which is basically like painting with a twist. And the woman who was running it and doing the teaching actually used to work at painting with a twist, so that worked out pretty well. Wait, mushroom merchant. Do you sell mushroom spores? Like at a reasonable damn price? No. I totally could have sent those over to my bank alt if she had mushroom spores at a good price. What quest do we want to do? We should go do Tiris Fall Uplands quests, because that's actually a new area. Do we want to grab Dalaran crate first? Let's do that first. Let's knock that out since we're over here in the area. So yeah, we did a paint and sip, which was a lot of fun. We were painting the Death Star rising like a moon over the horizon of the forest moon of Endor. I'm pretty okay with how mine turned out. There are definitely some things I'm not happy about, but it was also my first time ever painting. Like, not a miniature, but like painting on a canvas, a picture. That's a very different skill set, and I'm mostly happy with it. And Perry said that I did a great job for my first time, and, you know, it's my wife's opinion that matters. Exactly, that's New Moon. That was the theme. And that's what everybody has said that I've sent the picture to. So I'm very proud of all of you. Did we do anything after that? No, because that got delayed a lot. So the original room that we started in was a really nice little cozy conference room. It was limited seating. It was a limited event. I'm really glad that we got tickets for that one so early. Con pro tip, guys. Schedule what you are doing before you get to the con. Very important. Did I sell my second route? An idiot. Oh, I should have battle shouted first. I'm dumb. I can't warrior. It's fine. I am still but a young warrior. Not sure why we took that pathing, but it's fine. Nope, not that. That. So yeah, we started off in this really nice cozy conference room. We were drinking wine, we were painting, we were being sociable and talking to the other people who were doing this. Couple of other couples, couple singles. It was very pleasant. Oh, I need Dark Soul shackles too. And there was a game of Vampire the Masquerade going on in the kind of sectioned off room next to us. And it was all very pleasant until one of the poor women playing Vampire, like, I think it was a combination of overheating and having too much to drink. Guys, there were cash bars everywhere here. But she got really sick, and there were no trash cans in here. She puked. Like, just uncontrollable puking. For like a couple minutes. Just in a corner on the floor, and I felt so bad for her. But we also had to evacuate the room because it was not smelling great after that. And Perry is no good around puke. Like, she has a really hard time around it. Perry is one of those people that if she sees somebody else puking, she will also puke. So, and there were other painters in our group that are of the same ilk. So, we had to evacuate the room. We waited a while for hotel staff to get everything cleaned up and all right. It still smelled kind of bad. Hotel or the con organizers were able to get us another location to finish our painting. And we're now sharing a room with some miniature painters, which was cool. A little bit upsetting because the miniature painting was what I had initially wanted to do. Are you all Moonrage gluttons? You're not what I need at all. The guys that I need in the mine? Boo. It's alright, we'll come back and finish this up. But yeah, there was totally still seating in that room. And when I bought the tickets, that was like the first thing that had sold out. Was a miniature painting, paint and take course. So you paid, what was it? It was like $20 or something. And they supply everything for you, including a miniature for you to keep when you're done. And, you know, it's a class on like, you know, how to paint your miniatures. And I was hoping to do that and learn something from it, but we weren't able to get in. But there was room. That's the point that I'm getting at. Is they totally had room. They had enough room for the entire other painting event to invade that room. They had miniatures too. They had plenty of miniatures. They had a damned bucket of miniatures. I talked to the guy who was running it, though. He was pretty nice. I didn't bother him about why there weren't more tickets available when there were so clearly seats available. I kept that to myself. Yeah, after that, it was like close to 11, so we had a couple of drinks at the hotel bar and then went to bed. And then next day from 9 to 5, I did my Battletech tournament, which I already talked about a little bit. That doesn't interrupt you, does it? Nope. I know Shield Bash will, but I'm not using a shield. I'm trying to not be a tank. But after the Battletech tournament, Perry had signed us up to do a big vampire LARP event, like 60 people big vampire LARP event. Now, I used to play Vampire the Masquerade, but we played it more tabletop. So I was familiar with the setting, but not with how a LARP works. And ultimately, it was too much. Like, I don't know if I was just so tired from the Battletech thing, or if it just really wasn't my crowd. Everybody there was nice. In fact, like, it was probably the most normal group of people at that convention. But yeah, no, I just couldn't. I was so tired. So I wound up leaving early, but Perry really enjoyed it. She played through the whole thing and apparently started a big vampire war during the process. And they invited her to join their, what is it, a troop? Their vampire LARP troop. Ooh, this is dangerous. This is a great way for me to get murdered by a ton of... Is that what I need? Shit. Shit. Well, they haven't... They have been running. Do not run. Okay, if they all turn to look at me, I gotta go. Shit. Can I finish him off before I need to run? Nope, there's too many of them. I got my potion ready. I hate questing out here, guys. Tearsfall Glade sucks. Drop aggro, please. Please, before I run into something else that wants to kill me. Like one of these bears. Go away! Okay. Jesus. So yeah, Perry's been invited to join them and their troop, but they play in Denver. It's only like once a month, and they do a carpool for the Colorado Springs players. But also, it means going up to Denver once a month. Personally, I feel like, you know, if she enjoyed it, then we can definitely make it happen. I don't know that I would want to go do it, though. I need to be... It's weird. I've been playing, like, RPGs for so much of my life. I was playing Dragon Warrior when I could read. As soon as I could read. I learned partially how to read from Dragon Warrior, right? And I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I was 12. But it still just felt like a lot. But, you know, maybe that's because it was like this big LARP 60-person event. And they were very new player friendly. They were very understanding of the new players, and there were a bunch of other new players there. So it wasn't for lack of trying, but I think I really need to, like, you know, be comfortable with a smaller group before I jump into something that big. I'm pretty antisocial. I'm very much an introvert, and my social battery was already dry at that point. And then, yeah, she didn't get back to the room until, like, after 11. Okay. Okay. How do I want to do this? He moved. Let's get you. Nice crit. Ooh, 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 ooh. Perfect, perfect. Maybe we'll work our way up from the south. I might see a better means of approaching. You know it'd be super great. Go ahead, run. Run, run. Get further away. No? I was gonna charge her again. I guess it doesn't work if I have aggro. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Right. I'm undead. Haha! There, hamstring. Look, guys, I remembered I have cooldowns. How long does hamstring last? 15 seconds? Let's go for it. No, you don't. That was a slow chase scene. That was the last Jedi chase scene. Okay. So, hiya, stun him, and then we're gonna go hide behind this tree. Lure him over. Ow. Hello, friend Snaggle. Oh, we got 2 warriors, yo. Wait, we can both rend? All right, let's try this again. And we'll have straight up more damage than these guys have. Hamstring. Come on, Snaggle. Come on. Come on, we got one of them. Snaggle. Snaggle. Like, I'm trying to heal him. Shit, he's totally gonna die. Keep running, Snaggle. Snaggle, I believe in you. Who just shot me? Did you make it? He made it! Anytime, Snaggle. I said get the one by the barrel! I can potion. It's fine.
Not enough reach.
good. He knows how to. Kill Grimson the Pale. Oh, yeah, I'm not that far yet. Do I have that one? Oh, yeah. Firewood Village. Is that where I died the other day? Lake Lordimere. Oh, man. There was a board game that we wanted to try in the vendor hall Sunday morning. Heck, I guess that was yesterday morning. Called Eschaton, which looked like a pretty interesting like worker placement game. They're awfully close to each other. Don't you dare aggro anything else. Don't you dare. Yo, hero, what's up? I do want to like knock out these quests because I've never really done them before, but man, undead players had a lot to put up with. No wonder there were so many undead rogues in Elwyn Forest. I'd rather be anywhere else. Happy Pokemon Day! I actually did see something in the Pokemon Direct that was exciting. They're doing a Pokemon Classic TCG set release. I love the classic Pokemon TCG. I did very well for myself at local tournaments. Is this where we leave each other, Snaggle? It's been real. Oh, you've got an OG Charizard somewhere? Dude, that's like a down payment on a car now. Am I going to try and Kaiba all over people again? Because it probably won't be as easy as it was back then. That's true. The game has very much evolved, and card games have a lot more competitive players now than they used to. That said, I don't know. I don't know if I would go do tournaments for it or anything. I like the idea. It was weird. I've never just randomly partied up with somebody before. Well, I have, but usually just for a quest, and then we say goodbye. It's also tragic, because I'm going to be going and watching The Last of Us in less than an hour. Something I kind of like about this server, like everyone you run into is so helpful. You know, you don't play on a vanilla plus private server if you don't just love playing WoW, like what WoW used to be. Oh my god. I could hamstring him. No, hamstring. Aha! Ooh, he is quicker than he looks. Death Guard got him! Hooray! Yeah, people have tried to get me into Yu-Gi-Oh! Multiple times, like well before I even started this channel.
This had better be good.
Like, you know, I was playing Magic back in the day and Pokemon. I was there when Yu-Gi-Oh! Started, and I tried playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And, you know, I had a couple of friends try getting into it, and that's really the best way to get into something, you know, is by picking it up together and playing it and learning it together. And none of us stayed interested in the game.
Remember, patience, discipline.
Like, mechanically, Yu-Gi-Oh! is fine. It's fine. It's sound enough. And this was back when it launched, so it's not like it had power creep, you know, on the first release. It wasn't enough. There was something missing from it that to keep us engaged, right? Where's that Mage Royal? There it is. now when I look at Yu-Gi-Oh, I see a game that's kind of like Capcom versus SNK2. Use a fighting game analogy. It's old and busted, but the people who have taken the time to learn it really enjoy it, and they enjoy it for the jank.
I need a target.
To say nothing of the fact that Sons of Aragal like to patrol through here. I don't feel like dying today.
I'm out of range.
Or like the, I'm going to compare it to fighting games again. I see a lot of comparisons between competitive card games and fighting games, honestly. So another example would be, I forget the term for it. There's an actual term for like the super janky, unpolished fighting games, like the Sailor Moon fighting game. It is an unpolished mess. But when everything is busted, nothing is. So it's just, it's hilarious, and it's pure chaos to watch, because every character is just a mess and it's unbalanced, and there are people who really, really enjoy that. And I kind of feel like that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. I prefer more structure and the ability to highly minimize luck in my card games. And, you know, a lot of balance in my card games, which was what attracted me to playing Magic. And I think I only saw early Pokemon as balanced because I was much younger at the time. Like, looking at it now, the fact that every trainer, there was no limit on how many trainer cards you could play on your turn. So going into Pokemon after already being a blue control player in Magic, that was just a recipe for disaster. You know, I was running 4 Oaks, 4 Bills, 4 energy removals, 4 super energy removals, 4 gusts of winds, 4 switches. This deck was almost all trainer cards. The Pokemon I had in the deck consisted of, I think, 4 Hitmonchan, 1 or 2 Electabuzz, 3 Dratinis, and 2 Dragonairs. And that was it. But I had so much card draw and board control that it didn't matter. The only things that happened were things that I wanted to happen. Yeah, you're a Hitman fan. You like Jenk. It makes sense. So you like Yu-Gi-Oh! You found a game that you appreciate and you enjoy. I certainly wasn't the first player to discover how strong that kind of deck was. It was called a Haymaker deck, and it was like it was one of the most competitive decks in the meta for the first like 2 years of Pokemon. What I did with it and my take on it actually won me a contest on the what was it, the Pokedojo, Pokegym. There's the main website for the Pokemon TCG. I won a contest on there for my article on deck building and how to improve on the Haymaker deck. And it was just, it was great. It was great. It was a fun time. And both of my sisters did very well too. They played. They were both running rogue decks. I thought Gordo was angry at me for a second. I was like, "What the hell, man? You're on my side." Always got to move with the Torrens. It's important. Maybe a little bit racist. But my sister Katie had a really nasty Blastoise Rain Dance deck that used a lot of tutoring to basically force evolve her Pokemon. I forget what it was. There was a card that let you skip your stage 1 evolution and go straight to stage 2. So she could have a Blastoise on turn 2. And it was horrifying. And she always, like, her kill time, her win time was not quite as fast as mine, but it was brutal. She was on pace with the standard Haymaker deck type. And then Kristen ran an Alakazam and Chansey deck. And if you don't remember what Alakazam's Pokemon power was back at launch in the Pokemon TCG, its Pokemon power allowed you to freely move around damage counters on your turn. So she used Clefairies and Chanseys to just delay eventually get out an Alakazam, move around all of this damage using the Alakazam, and then she'd use a Pokemon Center. And what Pokemon Center did was it removed damage counters, like all damage counters from all of your Pokemon, and any Pokemon that had a damage counter removed from it also lost all of its energy cards. So she'd have 4 120 health Chanseys just sitting on the bench. No energy on them. And just an Alakazam sitting out there, tearing it up. And you hit it, and then she'd just send the damage somewhere else. And she would just bank it. It was very effective. The main problem with her deck was that it was a stall deck and a control deck. So in a tournament where there's a time limit, and then you, at time limit, whoever has drawn the most prizes wins, and it takes her deck a little while to get up to speed. Usually, by the time that the time limit hits, she's in complete control of the game, but her opponent has still drawn more prize cards than her. So it was not great for tournaments. She made it work very, very well. But she definitely was fighting an uphill battle in a fast meta. He's totally going to aggro on you. I'm sure of it. So yeah, playing a stall deck when tournament rounds were limited to like half an hour or something. And, you know, her opponent had usually drawn like 2 or 3 prize cards by that time. She really had to work and figure out a way to establish early control. And she was definitely getting it down and getting it figured out, especially with the new cards that got introduced with the Jungle expansion and Team Rocket and Gym Leaders. Most games, I prefer control. Pokemon was the first one to really give me the ability to play an aggro deck that also had control. Like, that's how busted Haymaker was. I'm not gonna lie. Haymaker was busted. The fact that you could play aggro and control all at once, I mean, it was entirely possible to win on or before turn 6. Either drawing all of your prize cards, you know, dependent on what their opening Pokemon was, or you know, they'd just run out of Pokemon by that point. Because trying to have 6 Pokemon on the board that early, you don't want to have 6 Pokemon hitting the board by turn 6. That means that your hand is just full of Pokemon and not enough utility. You're probably short on the energy that you need.
Victory for some.
All right, folks, this is going to be it for me tonight. Time to go watch The Last of Us. I will see you all next time. Take care.